Guys, I had to take the opportunity to show another Zelos Mako. This has got to be like one of their best all-time models, at least in my opinion. It's gotten to the point there's so many generations of them now and so many different colorways that you could actually just collect the Zelos Mako if you wanted to. It's very cool. So big thanks to my buddy Jerry who sent this over. This is a version 3, okay? So look at the card here. This was January of 2020. This is number 143 of 150. So I know some people have said there's no way it's a version 3 with this clasp. Well, this is the clasp they used at the time of this. I kind of vaguely remember that because they had already come out with their quick release clasp, and then they launched this, and everyone's like, what gives? Well, what gives is they probably wanted to keep the price down, and they had these clasps, and they wanted to use them up, sort of thing. I don't know. I could be wrong, but probably not. What do you get for the Mako? And for a crazy good price, by the way. You get a 40 millimeter case, at least these earlier ones. I think there might be a different size out there now, but 40 mil case, 46.4 millimeter lug to lug. The thickness on this guy is 14 millimeter, but it's actually like 11.5 millimeter without the double dome sapphire crystal. But, well, we can't really just remove the double dome sapphire crystal now, can we? So it is 14 mil thick, but the way it's done, crystal sometimes doesn't really reflect to the wearability of the thickness of a watch. So you guys know what I'm saying when I say that, right? 20 mil lug width here, bracelet tapers down to 18, and then of course you have the old school type clasp with the double pushers and the fold over. Still get 4 micro adjusts, you just don't get that quick on the fly adjustment. So take it or leave it. Little picture of I'm assuming a Mako shark on the back, which is like the fastest shark in the ocean sort of thing. Now, these were very rough. This one's actually still kind of rough. I know some people took some sandpaper blocks and sanded down so it wasn't as rough. I'm not sure if Jerry did that or anybody did that with this one. It doesn't feel as sharp as some of the ones I felt, but it could use a little more smoothing out. But it's not a big deal, guys. It's not hard to do. You just smooth it out. It's no big deal. Or just let it keep peeling away the skin on your wrist. Either way, it's fine. 6.5 millimeter screw down crown at the 4 o'clock position. I love offset crowns. I know a lot of you guys do too. Sized up for my 7¼ inch wrist. Weighs in at 163 grams. Yes, I know I'm talking fast. 120 click bezel on this ceramic bezel insert. C3X1 lume with a splash of BGW9 around the inner chapter ring. We're going to do that in a minute. This one's called the Antique Green. It has a Whirlpool Gia Shade print on the dial. So if we zoom in, we can take a closer look at that. So you can see it has a very consistent swirl pattern to it, almost like a, kind of reminds me of like some old paintings and stuff like that. It's a really cool dial, very dynamic, applied indices with a gilt trim. So I think you have a little bit of color play there with both the gilt and the color used for the lume formula. That's why it kind of gets the antique classification. Color match date wheel, it's 6 o'clock, white printing on that. You can see that 17 there. Inside is the Miyota 9015 automatic movement. Great movement, beats at 4 hertz. It is automatic and hand winding. Sometimes you can get the rotor wobble on it. So basically it's a unidirectional wind to the rotor. So in the non-winding direction of the rotor, it'll free spin quicker. That's why you feel that like that wobble. And you can maybe get it to do this, but because it's in a dive watch, it's masked. It's masked some, so you don't really feel it as evident in some lighter weight watches. Retail price on this was $449. I don't remember what the launch price was, but it was less than $449, guaranteed. That's what's awesome about Zelos. I have a Hammerhead, right here, this guy, and these are current right now. They're constantly releasing models, whether it's a refresh of a previous model or a new model, and they have quite the range of prices. I really like the more affordable options, but as soon as you get into some like Damascus or Damascus or special materials that Zelos does that a lot of other brands don't do, that justifies spending a little bit more money, in my opinion. If you really like that model of the watch, you'll have a very special iteration of it. That's very cool. Let's pop this on wrist and then we'll close out with a lume shot. Clasp is a little rough on this one. Not a big deal though. Looks, wears, feels great. Excellent feeling bracelet and offset crown. Just, I'm a huge fan of that, both in the way it looks and the way it just clears the wrist. You can see it's a little grabby in there. Hopefully that doesn't fail, but excellent bezel action on this. Very clean operating watch. Okay, let's kill the lights. Enough about fast talking descriptions. There we go. Killer lume. Actually, I'm not seeing the BGW9. I thought it was on that inner chapter, but it's really light. I think it is on there, but it's really light. It's hard for me to see. You guys might see it. Little splash of BGW9 maybe on the tip of the second hand too. Does that look blue? It looks blue. But always crazy good lume with Zelos. Here you can obviously see the BGW9 on the hammerhead. So Zelos is awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.